Hey, I know I'm not Leslie, but my hair's long enough. I could probably put it up in buns like her picture.
Yeah, you got the glasses. You got dude. You got this.
And
She does the headphones sometimes. So yeah, you're definitely doing it. You got a little tip of the
and my
hat.
dad's name is Leslie. So
There you go. There you go.
All right. So I was on some of the other lefty shows while this show was going on and trying to tell people to come over here when their shows ended. I know that's a little scummy thing to do, but
you know what? It's not, Jayme, because I know your style, your sentiment is this is the ideal situation that we're all doing that for each other. It's not a one-way street.
Well, I wait till the very end of the show too, so I'm not telling them to leave the show they're watching. I'm like, okay, we're wrapping up. See you next time. And then I was like, firing it in there, trying to get some more people over here watching while we're live. But we got more comments here, so we can go through some stuff from the show today.
Okay.
Should we just start from the top? Start from the beginning?
Yeah. Do you want me to help you throw it up, or do you want to?
I'll throw it up, but if you want to read them, you can. Because some of these I saved for the end of the show when you're going to be rolling the credits.
All right. Let's
just go ahead and start with Ed Rams here.
Okay.
So this was talking about the woman that was hit by the bus from that story much earlier. I can't remember her name.
Oh, right.
Censored News, the Epstein.
This was the first story on Censored News. Thank you for the comment, Ed Rams. It looks like this is in reference to the Epstein victim accuser. Her name is Virginia Guffrey, and so he says, "Wait, what? Isn't there like dialysis or whatever that it's called? Keep her alive with other means." Great point. It's interesting that her own tweet, and I don't want to get so like extra suspicious, but she seems so at peace after this with her that message she sent out. I'm a little suspicious on that message. Did somebody write that for her? She's doing this whole like coming to terms. I'm okay with where I'm at. You'd think there'd be a little more pushback from someone who's been in so much. So I don't know. You'd think that there'd be somebody trying to keep her alive, or maybe she's like throwing in the towel and saying, "Hey, clearly somebody wants me dead. I'm just gonna, be at peace here." But yeah, great question. Why are they so quick to say 4 days to live? Why? And why are we not trying to fight that?
And it is questioning, did she even write that?
Yeah, see, I'm thinking
the state that she's in, would that be something she'd be thinking about doing? Maybe. I mean, if she's conscious and understands what's going on.
Yeah.
But that's a sketchy story all the way around.
That's sketchy. Okay.
And what about, I think to follow that story, the follow-up, find out what happens to that bus driver. Right?
We gotta look back at this one. So this was, I think it was about 2 days ago. So this 4-day clock of her she has left. Let's see if she puts anything else out. We'll follow up with this bus driver situation. We might get some pushback. We might be saying, "Hey, the whole thing is a scam. It's not even a thing." Mm-hmm. But we saw the picture of her. She's definitely injured. That's her.
She's definitely beat up.
She's
but if this was okay, so the connotation, like one of the skeptic, the conspiracy theorist is going to say, "Oh, this was on purpose. They smashed her car on purpose." But they had to get a bus driver to do it, right?
Yeah.
So if that bus driver did this on purpose, there's going to be a trail there, right? What happens to that bus driver? Is that bus driver charged with a crime for smashing this car?
Yeah.
So we need to find out what happens to that.
We need to find out driving that fast, 70 something miles per hour, I think was the calculation there.
Is that guy going to be, is that the driver going to be protected? Did they live? Did they die? I don't know. I mean, I think that's the important part of the story.
Good questions. We got to keep asking these. So thanks, Ed Rams. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right. This is from Leslie.
Yes.
She was watching the show. Oh my gosh. Yes. Hemodialysis can extend life in those with renal failure, but I don't know all of her situation. Ed Rams, Jesus is awful. 4 days to live.
Well,
so
it's just awful. It's awful.
It really is awful. And then Leslie's a nurse, so she would kind of know what could be done for this.
Exactly. Yeah.
And then I think this was also from Leslie. Yeah. Moving on, I think this was from a later story where they were the State Department was blaming Hamas for the death of the medical aid workers.
Yes, this was from the #1 story on Top Censored News, where for some reason that U.S. state rep at the State Department was able to maneuver and spin that the deliberate assassination and execution and burying of the bodies of 15 medics and aid workers was Hamas's fault. Anything that happens, and she said this, anything that happens from October 7th and on in Gaza is Hamas's fault.
Everything.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And this is the blank check philosophy, blank check to Netanyahu. No red line for Netanyahu. We've been doing
the same
it
excuse as like a guy who beats his wife. It's like, she made me do it. She made me do it. It was her actions made me beat her up, and it keeps happening over and over and over again. And that's the excuse they're using for Israel.
Yeah, exactly.
It's always the victim's fault that we had to kill them.
Yep. It's their fault. Yeah. She made me do it, man. I saw that look in her eyes. She wanted me dead. She's a man hater. She's an anti-manist. And I can just tell the way she looked at me. She wanted me dead. So I had to murder her first.
Yep.
And that's the preemptive strike that is needed. Like we have to kill babies.
I was just protecting myself because she was going to kill me. Yeah. So I had to kill her.
I mean, we have to kill babies in Gaza too, because they're going to grow up and hate Jews. So you might as well get them. I could see the look in their eye.
Yeah, they're much easier to get when they're babies than if you wait till they're like 20.
Yeah. Yeah. So F these medics, these 15 medics that are clearly there. They're only there to, I mean, everybody knows if you're a medic and you go to Gaza to help Gazans and Palestinians, you're only there because you hate Jews.
No, Matt, they weren't medics.
Why else would you be there?
They were Hamas. Those medics were Hamas. Disguised as medics.
Yeah. Disguised as medics. Yeah, exactly. So it's their fault. Their fault. All right.
The next one. Bluffing to, this is from Jokers for You. Bluffing to attack Iran? No, I don't think so. And I wish that were not true. I'm kind of torn on this. This is about Trump. This is from Patrick Henningsen.
Yes, the interview with Patrick Henningsen was. I loved that conversation. By the way, I really think that was good use of his time on here. We covered a lot, but yeah, go ahead, Jayme.
This has to do though with are we bluffing when we say we're going to go attack Iran? And I'm not 100% sure. But I do know that Trump's history has been as a saber rattler. He likes to really do a lot of bluster, and then they come to the negotiating table, and not a lot of stuff actually happens. But with Iran, it seems to be a little bit different. He does have a history of actually killing General Soleimani. And these war hawks and neocons that he has filling up his administration have been wanting to go to a war with Iran for at least 20 years, if not longer.
Yeah.
Actually, probably 25 years now, going back at least to 9/11. And they get off on the idea of war with Iran. This is just something they've always wanted. And I worked around these people. I didn't understand it. I'm like, why do you hate them so much? I mean, we're the ones who overthrew their government in the 1950s and then put the Shah of Iran in, who was an awful dictator, and the people there hated him so much they got rid of him. Why are you upset with them for undoing the thing that we do? We already screwed them over. Yeah. And now you want to continue screwing over again and punish them for us stopping them from screwing them over again. I mean, granted, they put in like a theocracy in place that I don't really agree with, but that's the people of Iran's idea. That's their problem to deal with, right? It's not ours. So, I too wish it wasn't true that we were just bluffing. The way I see the Iran situation, it's like you got like United States, we're the big drunk moron at the bar who's looking for a fight, and Iran's just sitting there at the bar, and they're trying to mind their own business, and we keep going up to them like, "What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? I'm going to kick your ass, dude." And they're just trying to ignore it. And eventually they're just going to sit their drink down. They're going to take their glasses off, and they're going to stand up, and they're going to go, "Okay, let's dance. It's time to dance, buddy." And then they're going to knock us on our ass, and everybody's going to go, "What happened? What happened?" And we're going to, it's stupid. The whole thing is stupid. I mean, and especially if you look at Iran and the people they have there, they have a lot of science. They got a lot of art. It's a very cultured, advanced civilization, society. And they would have been probably one of the best allies the United States had if we would have just chosen to work with them instead of being antagonistic against them for the last 70, 80 years.
Yeah. Very true. And I agree with Jokers for You. I don't think we're bluffing on this. And I do think
I'm not sure.
Well, as Patrick explained, there's ways we can do a strike, a coordinated strike. He said low radiation, go directly for their. I think it's something that really, this isn't a bluff. Like they really want to do this, and
some of them absolutely want to do it, but
yeah.
I don't know if those people are actually in charge or they're just higher up pushing the people in charge, because there might be in the past, at least we've had some people in charge who were sane enough to know that this is stupid and we're not going to do it. I don't know if those people are there anymore.
Okay.
But there's definitely people in the administration who want to do this fight. They've been wanting it forever, and they've been trying to get the power, and they might have it now.
Yeah.
And they've been convincing Trump that like Iran's a threat since they tried to kill him. They blame somebody tried to kill Trump, and then they blamed it on Iran, even though the evidence points to probably more likely it was Ukraine. But I'm not sure if this is a bluff or not, and if it is a ploy to get him to the negotiating table, I'm not sure what they want to try to negotiate exactly, because Iran's not going to negotiate when there's threat of war coming their way. They're like, no, why would we agree with you with anything? You just want to kill us.
This is not a bluff. Nothing Trump does and his team, his psychopathic warmongering team does, is a bluff. They're always prepared to do the thing that they threaten, and they will do. The ego behind them is insane. They will never back down from a bluff, whether it's through something like tariffs or something through like bluffing and nuclear annihilation. They'll do it at a minimal level so we don't all blow up, but they're gonna do it if they have to. Now we'll see how Iran responds. And I liked Patrick. I loved his take on the negotiation of, you got to put your nuclear, like we have to have, Israel's got to have the same standard. If you want us to do this, same standard. That might be what their next move. But regardless of their next move, we're ready to do whatever we say we're going to do. And it's going to, that's it. That's the code. That's not just Trump's team. That's how it's been since JFK. Our nuclear code, or at least since the Cold War, our nuclear code has been one option only: nuclear annihilation. We don't have a second option of negotiating. We don't do it.
We've been running war games and simulations against Iran for decades.
Yeah.
And when I was working in that space and saw the results of it, it was never good. It's like we would be insane to go to war with Iran, because even if we win, it would be at a tremendous cost of American lives.
Yeah.
And that's if we even can win, which I don't think we can do. We haven't won a war, unless you count the first Gulf War, since World War II.
That was a stalemate. We didn't win anything.
I think I can count it as a win. We had an objective. We went in there, we accomplished the objective, and we left. But that wasn't really much of a war, now was it? And we had a tie in North Korea, or in Korea.
Yeah.
We had a tie. I'll give them one win, and every other war was a loss. And the one win we had was
all losses. I think they're all complete. Everything's been a loss since the American Revolution, I think. One big pile of loss.
Yeah, I mean, we take credit for the win in World War II, which we probably
take credit. We didn't win. We were along for the ride for the military contracts.
Well, wait. We did win in the Pacific theater, but in the Western theater, the European theater, I mean, we were kind of just support over there.
Yeah.
But we did kind of do all the heavy lifting in the Pacific theater. So
okay, yeah, sure, okay.
Yeah, but we dropped 2 nuclear bombs we didn't need to drop.
But you know who wins? We win every time. If you're BlackRock, we win every time.
Well, they win all the time. They never lose.
Yeah, so they always win. It's like, yeah. Israel won. Israel won when 9/11 was a great. Oh yeah, they really won that. They were the most benefited. That they benefited more than anyone. Everything we did after that. This whole plan, 7 countries in 5 years, or 5 countries, whatever the hell the plan was. Wesley Clark told us the plan. We forgot to ask, well, who told you that? Who told them to tell you the plan? And we never went fully up the food chain. But no, that was the plan. Those are the orders. We're doing it. We're just going to do it. There's no reason other than just do it. And so, yeah, Israel benefited from that. But we don't benefit from anything. We're not. How are we better off from any war we've done in our lifetimes? How are we better off from
everything's always gotten worse afterwards.
Yeah, everything's worse.
Everything. Every war we've done has made living in America worse.
Yeah.
So why do we support going to war?
Yeah.
It never makes anything better living in the United States after our wars. So we should just be basically against war because we don't want our lives to get worse, but we keep having them and people just go along with it.
Shut up, you Putinist, you anti-Semite. You conspiracy theorist. All right.
Let's move on. Okay, Ritter definitely believes Trump administration will take out Iran's top leaders with tactical nukes preemptively. Insanity if DC does that. I've watched Ritter. He does believe that this is a thing that's on the table in a real possibility. I think they might try to get it. That doesn't mean they'll actually get the leadership of Iran if they try it. And let's also remember, a small tactical nuke is what is basically the equivalent of Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's a small tactical nuke.
Yeah, you lessen the radiation levels. You do it. It's a little like it's sending a message, but you are causing a lot of effing damage. You're killing a lot of people, and then the people that survive suffer from horrible cancers for the rest of their life and just horrible shit that you couldn't imagine. In other words, if you're by it, if you're nearby, that's the worst. You want to either be in it or not there at all. If you do not want to be on the ring around it.
If a nuke is dropped, it won't be just one.
Yeah.
There won't be just one nuclear bomb dropped, because the other side's going to be throwing their bombs too, and then we'll throw more. It's over for everybody. And it only takes, like, if we use our best nukes, our biggest ones, it only takes like 3 or 4 of those to destroy the ecosystem of the planet for to sustain human life. So why do we have thousands of them? We don't even need to hit the target. We could just detonate them up in Montana somewhere, ruin the ecosystem, and then it's game over for everybody. We don't have to hit anything. But these idiots think that we can somehow win a nuclear war. And no, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best. And I don't think anybody wants that. I think there are enough smart people in the ruling class that know that and are afraid of that, and they don't want it to happen. Yeah. So,
well, thanks Fred Edward for the comment. Let's move on. What else we got?
So the world knows USA is bluffing. I don't know. Maybe there's a lot of people who think we are, because we have bluffed a lot in the past, but like I said, I don't know if we're bluffing. I really don't. Trump's history has shown to be where he likes to saber rattle and then back down, but there's different people in place in his administration now.
I don't know. Like, I appreciate the sentiment, St. David's, but I don't understand the world, what they've been watching for at least from the last administration to this administration. It doesn't matter if it's Biden or Trump. What they've watched is systematically we invade we do everything we say. We've been doing everything. We've been currently striking the hell out of Yemen. We just took out their water supply. We finally got Syria, right? It took us a few years. We had to go, okay, we messed it up. Let's get them out. Let's distract Putin in Ukraine, and then we'll circle back and we'll get Assad out, and we'll throw in ISIS to control. So we're doing that. We're annihilating the people in Gaza, Palestine. At the same time, we're allowing Ukraine to suffer a massive losses on behalf of democracy. So it's like, when are we, at least in the last, I don't know, 5-6 years? What have we bluffed on? Tell me, am I missing something, Jayme? Did we bluff on something in the last since Biden and Trump's terms stacked up? Have we bluffed on anything?
Well, I think it's more specifically Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Trump bluffing, because remember, he did antagonize North Korea before he sat down to have peace talks with them, and threatened them. So you could say that was a bit of a bluff.
Okay.
But yeah, the USA, I mean, we tend not to bluff. We have a bad idea and we follow through.
We have a bad idea, and we have ego. Ego comes into play, and we have to do the thing. And we're like, this doesn't make any sense. The Ukraine made no sense, right? This we're telling you, Putin, we're gonna
look. It makes sense if you're a bigot and you hate Russians. You're like, this is what we got to do to kill those Russians.
There was no way to. We said it from the beginning, from the moment Putin went in there. We were like, you guys just broke the Minsk agreement. You guys specifically did that on purpose. Angela Merkel in Germany admitted that we were lying about that in order to get time to build up Ukrainians' military and use it as Azov battalion, neo-Nazi third party, whatever you want to call it. We were funding that whole thing, putting everything in place. But even still, even if the plan, our plan worked. My God, what was the plan? To draw Putin in and completely annihilate the Ukrainian people, and then we get nothing from this. We destroy the energy situation. We completely annihilate Europe's economy. We said we were going to destroy Putin's economy. No, they're nothing but flourished since then. And the only thing we pulled out of that was we distracted Putin enough that we were able to go back to Syria and get rid of Assad and then take that over. And now we control 2/3 of it, right? We have a third of it already. Now ISIS, Israel is in the other third. There's 1/3 left, I believe. So it's insane. Those incremental, we're going to keep going further and further. And the greater plan of Israel is really the point. And but yeah, I don't think that the Ukraine situation was unless that was it, unless that was the one reason to do it, was we're going to go back and get Syria right. Then other than that, it's a complete disaster. And we knew it going in. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, the goal there was to cripple Russia so they couldn't continue supporting Syria and China.
So then it worked.
Yeah, it didn't work at all. It just strengthened Russia. It was nuts. They should have
stopped. But Putin backed off and didn't get Syria's back like he did the first time. That was the thing.
That's true.
That was the one thing.
So maybe you're right. If it was about Syria, then it worked.
Then it worked. Then they got their one thing, their one little win. It's like a bad chess player, right? You want to get that queen so bad. I'll sacrifice all my pieces to get the queen, and then you realize you got nothing left, and you're about to be in a checkmate. Yeah, but I got that prize. It's like, yeah, but you're not going to win the game now. I don't care. I just wanted to get that piece. Okay.
So we do say, like, we haven't won any wars, and I guess that's true when it comes to, like, we putting troops on the ground, but we do win in overthrowing governments and destroying countries.
We do.
We've destroyed Iraq. We destroyed Libya. We're trying to destroy Lebanon. We just recently successfully destroyed Syria. Kind of just upended so many countries in Latin America. And Haiti. Haiti's never been able to get right. They're being punished in perpetuity for freeing themselves from slavery.
Yeah.
So we win on that stage, but we can't win in a head-to-head fight.
That's right.
We win in covert action.
All right, let's do a few more here. I know this is all coming out of the Patrick Henningsen interview conversation, but okay.
Nice compliment from Jokers for You. Patrick is one of these analysts that's always 100% consistent and logical and rational. He's a great guest. Yes, he is.
We were so fortunate to have him, and we spoke with Craig Pasa, who, by the way, he's on assignment in Tennessee, and he's got an event. We're going to plug that. I just have to I didn't get the information. Do you have the information?
Since you bring it up, I might as well bring up this comment here
right now.
From Fred Edwards. He's got to catch his Greyhound. Good night, everybody. He's going to the Third Eye Carnival in Nashville.
That's it.
Excited about going. That's where Pasta is. So hopefully Fred will be talking to Pasta when they get there and eating all the good food that Pasta is going to be making for that crowd.
He's making the food. That sounds great. Can you find can you find the flyer for that so we can throw it out for people so they know?
I've never seen the flyer. I'll look for it.
I thought because he shared it on our last episode together, and then I couldn't find it. Yeah, maybe it's special invite or local only. But it's going to be a great event. So Pasta was on the train to Tennessee. Or he'd gotten, I don't know where he was at, but we were talking and I said, oh shoot, you're not going to make it on the show because we forgot the timing was off. And then I was like, hey, can you get a hold of Patrick? He says, absolutely. And within 5 minutes, Patrick hits me up and goes, yeah, I'm coming on. And I was like, hell yeah. I was like, so we did a little switch up from Craig to Patrick. So yes, we were so happy that basically, yeah, it's like when you call out sick to work and somebody said, and the boss says, well, I'll let you off, but you got to get me somebody to replace you. Well, we got a great replacement for the day. It was Patrick Henningsen. So good. It is.
This sounds like a fun thing to go to. I would have liked to go to this. I might have actually been able to go to this.
Oh my gosh. You should have.
Well, maybe. I'm not 100% sure because I've got a lot of stuff I got to take care of with my parents, but I might have been able to swing this. But yeah, here's
all weekend. This is all weekend.
Tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. And it's $90 for the entire weekend. It's probably a lot of shenanigans going to go on this weekend and a lot of food being eaten.
Yes.
So,
well, there's another thing going on this weekend too, since we're on this little promoting of stuff. I wanted to make sure people knew about this one. Wait a minute. I got to get the right thing. Hold on. This one. Here we go. This is the rally in DC, which is supposed to be, this is the PSL rally. We talked about this one before, but I don't know if we had gotten other ones pop up around. So there's the DC one, the Stop the Genocide March on Washington, ceasefire now, stop the genocide. I like how Stop the Genocide is the biggest thing on there because we're kind of over the ceasefire thing. We're kind of over.
The ceasefire was a joke anyway. It was just a distraction.
It's a distraction. But and I don't know if PSL fully knows that we need to even just say stop the illegal occupation, stop the genocide. That's just stop. But this is April 5th, so that is on Saturday in DC. But they were trying to organize it in every city. So if you guys look this up and see if it showed up anywhere else besides DC. Obviously, if you're in DC, you want to check this out. If you're anywhere else, we're here in LA. We'll look to see if there's something going on our end on Saturday here in LA. But this is, that's going on. So, I mean, wherever you are, guys, participate, be part of the, be part of the movement. If you're in Tennessee, absolutely go. If you're in Nashville, go to the Craig Pasta event there. And then anything else you guys can do something productive. Don't just watch our shows. Get out there and be in the streets too.
The Third Eye Carnival I think it's more of a fun thing. It's not going to be really a political thing so much as it is going to be, food, music.
If there's microphones on the stage, there's going to be some shout outs.
Yeah, there will be, but I think it's primarily going to be about
for the food.
Yeah, maybe the food. Maybe
that's why Pasta is invited for the food. They're gonna say, "Hey, Pasta, can we keep the politics down a little bit? Just cook the food, man. You're good at that." It's like, yeah, but what if I, want to say something? Maybe we'll see. Okay, let's do a couple more, and then we'll wrap up the talking back.
All right. Maybe I'll skip that one. Let's see.
We'll say like 2 more or whatever.
There's a lot here.
There's a lot. Okay.
About Patrick is he's great. Have a lot of respect for him. Thank you.
Thank you, Wish to Go. And Wish to Go comes in late sometimes, but I tell Wish to Go and everybody else, hey, you can go back and you can check out the live replay. We always keep it up on Rumble. So,
all right, let's go on to Oliver Stone here. Oliver Stone is playing with fire. He might get a sudden case of suicide-itis.
I think that's what he was trying to say. Thank you, Robin Hood Forrest. And that's what it is, right? It's walking a tightrope of playing with that fire and knowing your audience, and you're going to be a little different whether you're in that hearing room versus whether you're on a podcast versus if you're on a private phone call. Or as we know, there are no private phone calls anymore anyway. So whatever, man. You got to be careful wherever you are. Yeah.
I wonder if you could get him on an interview.
Oh, I've been so close. Dude, I've been so close so many times.
I think Jose knows it.
I had a chance to interview him before I had the show, and I don't think I played my cards right because I wasn't in that journalism space yet. I was still in the filmmaker space, but I'm glad because I don't want to talk to him just as a fellow filmmaker. I want to talk to him as somebody who does investigative journalism, and that's the line that we connect as filmmakers when we do documentaries. And I'm not obviously JFK's not a documentary, but Oliver Stone's done documentaries. We talked about Ukraine on Fire. And so we understand that when you're a director as knowledgeable and as resourceful as Oliver Stone and courageous, mostly he's courageous. Every film he does, he's courageous. A couple little, I got to give one to the establishment, like, I don't know, like the World Trade Center. I mean, that was just, let me give you a little human story about people trapped in the towers. We won't say how they got destroyed, but whatever. Other than that, he's courageous, and so I understand if I get an interview with him, it's about connecting those dots. I hope I can do it soon because we want to talk about the real shit, right? We want to talk about the things we discover as filmmakers, and then what is that problem? The problem he talks about, the problem of Hollywood, greenlighting films. What do you have to cut out of your script in order to the CIA checkbox and the Mossad checkbox? You have to cross some stuff out if you get stuff made, and if you put stuff up on Netflix, they might take it, but if the optics change, if Putin invades Ukraine, guess what? Your movie's coming off of Netflix. All of a sudden, Ukraine on Fire by Oliver Stone is no longer available on Netflix starting in March of 2022. It was there for the previous 8 years, no problem. All of a sudden, in March of 2022, it was breaking the violence etiquette on Netflix. You violate our too much violence. We had to remove your film. Sorry, Mr. Stone. I want to talk to him about that and how we push back against that.
Here, let me pitch an idea to you. We get you and Jayme Kuzmarov together on an interview with Oliver Stone.
I love that.
All the research that he's been doing into the JFK and even into Lyndon Johnson. And so that would probably be a really good idea. Maybe we could do it on Left or do it on your show, but maybe we could get it all together.
I'd love that.
But I think that would be a really cool show to watch.
Little panelish thing we could set. Yeah, I'd love that. However that looks, whatever the easiest way to do that, I'm down. We'll have to talk. Whatever show to do it too.
See if we can pitch this and maybe get in touch with his people and make it happen.
Great.
All right.
Let's do it.
So here's another one. I'm not sure who this is. I had to look him up, but this would have been the 100th birthday of the late great Tony Benn. He proved not all politicians are sold out psycho war pigs. Tony Benn was a British parliamentarian who would be a 100 today, challenged militarism, colonialism, neoliberalism, and the complacency of centrists in the face of billionaire class oligarchies. He died in 2014, I think. He was 88 years old. So, but Americans, I haven't really heard of him before. So we should go. You should probably do your own show and talk about him and highlight him and how he was good for the British people. But based on that description, it sounds like it's somebody we would have liked. It reminds me of what's his name, the guy who ran for president in 2020, and he was way too old, but he did it anyway and had the 2 kids running his campaign.
In 2020?
Yeah, and then he died like a couple years later. He ran as a Democrat in the Democratic primary.
In 2020, are you sure you got the right?
Yeah, 2020.
And he died a few years later? Who's that? Does somebody know?
Yeah, he was. Somebody in the chat probably knows. I'm blanking on his name.
I mean, the 2020, you had Buttigieg, you had Klobuchar.
Oh, we had 20 people running, but he was one of the lefties, the real lefty.
I'm trying to remember. I'm just going through my memory.
He dropped out, and then he dropped out, and then he endorsed Tulsi and Bernie Sanders. And his campaign was run by those 2 kids, and he didn't really want to run, but I can't. I'm blanking.
He had the integrity. You're saying?
Yeah. It sounds like he was similar to Tony Benn here. Maybe
they all have integrity, right? When they start. Yeah. No, I mean, that's not be at the end. He would be at the elder part of his life there. But okay. No. Okay. Anyways, I want to look up Tony Benn too and figure out. The list is so short. The list is so short of people with the integrity element. Even if they have integrity
in our system, you don't last for long.
You don't last for long. If you had it going in, you ain't gonna have it for that long.
You're not corruptible.
Look at AOC. Immediately, like day one. Like if you want to argue that she had integrity pre day one, it's possible. You can make that argument on the campaign.
Yeah, she was on the right path going in.
And then literally day one, it's the same thing with Obama getting his. He was corrupt before day one, but getting that email list sent to you and saying this is who's in your cabinet. The AOC's equivalent of that email list that got to Obama was her being asked to go into Nancy Pelosi's office on day one, and Nancy Pelosi set her straight. And
no, it wasn't day one. It was after she went and protested standing on Nancy Pelosi's desk, and then I think she got sat down and had a talking to after that.
So what was like day 3?
Then she got straight.
Day 3.
Yeah, okay. It was like day 3 or 4.
Okay, day 3.
That was the last time she did something I liked.
From then on, Nancy Pelosi would be known as Mama Bear. And there you go. That's the story. That's the end of the story. Right.
And now we have AOCIA Pelosi.
There you go. All right. Thanks, Wishigo, for that. One more, and then we should.
I've got a lot.
And then you guys can still write stuff out, and like Jayme, you'll throw some up at the end. But we wanted to do a loudest voice of the week before we head out. But after that, we could throw up some more later, just on the So you guys get.
There's one here you'd like about Netflix. Well, I'll do this one from Edward Snowden from ChatterX. Awesome. When exposing a crime is treated like a crime, you are being ruled by criminals. By Edward Snowden. Absolutely true. And that's the situation we're in now. We've been in a government like this for quite some time. Edward Snowden should be recognized as an American hero. He sacrificed everything to tell us the truth. I mean, they call him a traitor. Who did he betray? He released information that the American people should know to the American people.
Well, he compromised ourselves to our enemy knows stuff now, and now we're compromised. They still do that shit.
He did violate the law that he signed to protect classified information. Yeah, but it's kind of like in the army, it's not illegal to direct, or you're obligated to disobey an illegal order, kind of thing. He swore an oath to protect the Constitution, and he also had he was bound by contract to follow the law to not release classified information. So in order to uphold one of the two of these things, he had to violate one of the two. And so he chose to uphold his oath to the Constitution over aligning himself with his contract to not release classified information unauthorized. And he did the right thing. He did the morally correct thing. He sacrificed everything for the American people. So yes, he broke the law, but he did it for absolutely righteous reasons, and we should be looking at him as an American hero.
Absolutely. And Chatter X, I just want to say shout out for always getting the right quotes, the right sources, and you share links a lot. And I did notice you had changed your profile pic. It was antiwar.com, and now you have this no to NATO, no to war with the X. Love it. Thank you, Chatter X. And you got the X behind it, which is it's a good brand. I like that, Chatter X. Love it.
Okay, I've got two more things.
Okay, whatever.
I'm going to drop a lot of the other comments. Maybe we can play them in the end, but I want to share these two. This is actually a good idea from We Should Go. Can we get Jesse Jess as a guest? He's
Jesse Jet. Yeah,
I believe we can make that happen.
Yeah, I know Jesse Jet. Good friends with
Jesse Jet.
Yeah, good friends with the INN crowd, and of course Kit Cabello and all them. I would love to do that. That would be great. We should look at that. Okay. Yeah, we always love the musicians that stand up against the duopoly and the oligarchy as well, because music is just like any art form. We need to have courageous people championing it, as many as possible. So there you go.
And then we'll go ahead and skip to this, because this is a promo for the marchforpalestine.org event. Has it lists and buses from New York City and elsewhere to DC April 5th. And that's from Pamela Drew. So thank you for that information. And I think Leslie even mentioned in the chat she was going to look it up and see what's going on in LA.
Marchforpalestine.org. So that's the website you want to go to, guys. If you're look for your whatever major city you're nearby. Hopefully they've organized this enough. And I hate to say, oh, guys, I hope you did enough organizing for us so we can show up. But yeah, everybody, it's a team effort. We get the word out. But I hope we have some good organizing going. Obviously, the DC one is legit. I hope the other ones pop up too, and let's do it this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I thought I heard this. I heard that this is so. Jose Vega said he has interviewed Oliver Stone twice in the past few years.
Oh my gosh, good for him. Good for him, Jose.
I think he actually saw him in person and when they were in DC for one of the hearings. So that's another contact. Yeah. We might be able to make Oliver Stone happen.
Yeah, and I'm excited to introduce myself to Oliver because the time, and I just want to say that I said this earlier, but this is important. The time I almost had a chance to interview him wasn't on a podcast. We didn't have the homeless left. This was actually, I just want to be clear about what the opportunity was, and it just didn't. We actually missed him. We were he has an office in Santa Monica here, and we showed up, like me and the director of a film. We were working on a film, and I mentioned this in the episode 2 today. If you guys were paying attention earlier. We did a film in Venezuela. It's called Tupamaro. All right. We won best film in all the festivals back in 2017. We won Beverly Hills Film Festival. It's best film, best foreign film. We shot it in Venezuela. It took us 10 years to make. Oliver Stone was in contact with us to sit down and do an interview, not for a podcast, but to be in the film and have a commentary on what we were doing. We were investigating a vigilante group called the Tupamaros, in Caracas, at the time the most dangerous city in the world. So we showed up to the Santa Monica office to meet with Oliver Stone and do the interview. And I guess somebody had scheduled it wrong, and we were off by a day or something, and he'd already flown to out of town and was not there. And he apologized, not to us directly, but he told a third party to apologize to us. And then we never got it to happen again. So when I do meet him and we have an actual interview about what's happening right now, not just in Venezuela, but I want to introduce myself as not just a filmmaker that did make an award-winning documentary back in the day, but the work we're doing right now and how important it is we have these conversations. So maybe it's for the best that wasn't the right time to have that conversation. And we're going to have that conversation when it really is the right time, when we can connect all the dots to all the work we've been doing over these years and do something important together moving forward.